We all know what's coming. Okay, can everyone hear me? Okay, good.
Yes, I can hear you.
Alright. Mm, I'm trying to screen share. Let me know if that works.
Yep, you're good.
Okay, good. All right then.
Kylie, I know we had a few people confirm that they were coming this evening, so we'll just wait a few minutes if that works for you.
Okay, yeah, I can wait until like 5:40. Give everyone like 10 minutes.
Cool, that works.
Okay.
Welcome, everyone. We're just waiting on some folks to join, and then we'll get started.
Hello, and then while we're waiting, if you could do the pre-survey, just so we're ahead of the game. Hello, welcome in. If you could just get started on the pre-survey, and then in the chat, it also says when you're done, just write how you heard about this class. And thank you for your patience. We're going to start in about 5 more minutes.
Hi, everyone. If you're just joining, go ahead and do the pre-survey on your screen for our instructor, Kylie, and just put in the chat as well how you heard about the class today.
And we'll get started in a couple more minutes. Oh, okay. Or we can start now. So I'll just introduce our team. My name is Kylie Jones. I'm the tech team lead at Coding in Color. I'm also doing web development at ASU. And then we also have Karen and Brian on the call with us if they want to quickly introduce themselves.
Hi, my
Hello,
name's Karen. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
sorry. Hello, my name is Brian Mercado. I'm the web instructor at Hope Academy, and I'm currently going to Straight Island for my bachelor's in computer science.
Hi, my name is Karen. I'm the chief of staff at Coding in Color, and I'm currently an engineering management student at ASU.
Thank you. And then our director, Diana, she also might join us. But she is a software engineer and she manages coding in color. All right. So on our agenda today, we're gonna learn what Python and Turtle are, and then we're gonna get started. And then we're going to learn how to draw, so going forward and back, left and right, adding shapes, and then changing colors. So let me see. Let's get started. So Python is a programming language. It is one of the simplest ones to learn. It has packages and libraries, so you can it comes like in its own, and then you can add on packages and libraries and access other things that works in tangent with Python. And then there's a math package that lets you use keywords like pi, cosine, sine to make a calculator. That's a good project as well that some people start out with. And then the turtle package, which is what we will be using, it allows you to draw, create shapes, and to create an image or a graphic. Right. And so, oops. Sorry. So Turtle is a pre-installed Python library that enables you, like I said earlier, to create shapes, pictures, with all within a virtual canvas. So as you can see here, the little turtle in Turtle Graphics, it made a square. It could also make really cool and fancy geometrical shapes. Even this nice little image of like a mountain with clouds and stuff, all of that's made in Python using code. And then you use that on-screen pin, that's called the turtle, and that gives the library its name. It's just a little turtle image. All right, so if everybody could open up their default browser, whether it's Chrome or whatever you have available, and then just type in code HS because we're going to be using an online IDE. A lot of times people work with like they install the IDE, which is what you just code on, but it's just easier if we use an online IDE this time. And then thumbs up in the chat when you're ready. Once you get to that step. Also, our director, Diana, just joined. If you want to quickly introduce yourself, Diana, you can.
Hi, nice to meet you all. My name is Diana Lee. I am the director of Coding in Color. I'm really excited that everybody is here, and I hope you guys are enjoying the workshop that Kylie and Brian are putting on for you all. If you guys have any questions for me, you guys can feel free to drop them in the chat. Nice to meet you all.
All right. And then once you're here, if you could put a thumbs up in the chat. If you need any help, just drop your questions or raise your hand and let us know. All right, so once you're here, you should see a screen that looks like this. So codehs.com, and then over here you'll have online IDE. and you're going to click on Python. And then once you are there, you're going to scroll down and you'll see these 4 options. We're going to choose Python graphics, TK enter. And then once you're there, you're going to click create new, get started. Oops. And I didn't put this image there, but there's going to be default text that shows up. You're just going to delete all of that. You can do Control All or Command All and then delete it because we're not going to be using that. Okay, so once we're here, this is our objective. So we have an image that we want to create, and I just drew this. It's nothing fancy, it's just a little house with a roof. And these are all basic shapes. So Turtle is really useful for making basic shapes. It's really easy. Just a triangle, square, rectangle, square, circles. And then you don't have to stick to these specific colors. You can find different colors that you like. As long as it's something similar to this, it doesn't have to be a perfect copy or replica or anything like that. All right. So, first of all, on the first line, I'm going to, if it'll let me, oops, escape. Okay. So we're going to start by, typing import turtle on the first line. So we have that package, that library. We want to use it to draw. So we have to tell Python, okay, I need turtle. So I did that already on this line, but I'll do it again. Import turtle. And if you run it, nothing's really going to happen right now because it's just saying, hey, I want turtle, but we're not telling it anything else. There are no other instructions. So it's just going to be a blank screen. But that's the first step. And then we're going to initiate a variable. So we're naming our turtle. Every time we want our turtle to move or to do something, we're going to say, hey, turtle. So the easiest letter to remember, the easiest to type over and over again is just T. So we do T, which is the turtle's name, equals turtle dot uppercase turtle. So the variable is T, and then we're just naming it and calling it. So I'll write that on the next line. I'll put enter. I'll do 2 spaces just to give myself some room. And then I'll do T equals turtle dot turtle. And we don't have, I don't know if anyone has worked in code or anything like that before, but a lot of programming or a lot of languages will require you to put like a semicolon or something like that. Python, you don't have to do any of that. All right, and then if I could get a thumbs up in the chat to know if you're with me or a reaction or something like that. Perfect. All right. So next, we have our turtle. We have it set up. So we want that turtle to move. So we can move it backwards and we can move it forwards. If you want instead of a straight line, if you don't want a straight line, you're going to have to use angles. So let me back up. You can move forward and backwards. And to specify how far, that's what's going to go in the parentheses. So you see T, that's the name. So turtle dot forward, and then this is 90 pixels. You can also do turtle dot backward, 30 pixels. However many numbers, whatever you want. If you do too many, eventually it'll go outside of your screen. Okay, so let's give that a try. We have import turtle, T equals turtle dot turtle, and I'm just gonna tell my turtle to go forward 50 pixels. Oops, I did a typo. Okay, so nothing happened, which means I made an error. So let's make sure our pin is down. So basically our turtle is like a little pin. If you want it to write, you can't have your pin levitating in the air. You got to put it down. So I'm gonna do T dot pin down, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so it started. You could see that it started and then it went away. So let me just check my code really fast. Okay, that's what I'm missing. Okay, so I didn't have turtle dot done, and so the window would just close automatically before I was even done, so I couldn't see anything. But now that I have that, I'll close it manually whenever I want it to be done. So you can see our little turtle, which isn't a turtle, it's just a little arrow. It went forward 50 pixels. All right. And then give me a thumbs up if you're in the same spot, if you got your turtle to move. Or if you're lost or have any questions, let me know. All right, we're looking good. Perfect. Okay. So, okay, I'll just demonstrate going backwards as well. I'll just change it just so you know. And just do the reverse. All right. So we can move on. Now they know how to do that. And now what I was getting into a little bit ahead of myself, we're turning our turtle in order to make a shape, because we can go backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, but that's just going to be one line. So you have, again, you're calling turtle T dot left and T dot right. You can specify however many pixels you want, but that's like the basics of it. All right, so I'm gonna do T dot forward 50. And then someone type in the chat, should I go left or right? Right, okay. So we do T dot right. And then somebody give me a number, random number. 60, okay. All right, we'll run it, see what happens. Sometimes CodeHS just does silly things. Okay, so this arrow is really helpful because you can see exactly what's happening. So I went forward 50 pixels. I turned to the right 60 degrees, but my pin is still there. So I literally just went forward and then I turned. But in order to keep going or to make a shape, I have to go again. I have to go forward again. So I'm going to do t dot forward another 50 pixels. And now I have the start of a shape. So we have t dot forward, t dot right, t dot forward again. That gives us our line. And now we have to continue repeating that depending on the type of shape that we want. Okay, so let's go on. Oops. So if we want to make shapes, sorry, let me just get this. All of the shapes, closed shapes at least, have a sum of all of their angles at 360 degrees. So a triangle has 3 sides, so we have to divide 360 by 3, because 3 sides, 3 angles. And then that gives us our number. And then a square has 4 sides, so we'll have to do 360 divided by 4. And then a circle has basically all sides. It's just like infinite sides. So let's try this little bit of code. Let's see if we can make a square. Okay. So does anyone have any idea of how I can make a square? Type in the chat. What do you think? What should be my next steps? Because my shape, I'll run it again so you can see what it looks like. And I'll run it again because it's okay. So this is what my shape looks like right now. What should I do in order to make a shape? A square, sorry, specifically. Or an easier question, what degree angles do all squares have? If I do 360 divided by 4, what do I get? 90, exactly. So I'm gonna do, instead of 60, I'll do 90. And I have my perfect side. Okay? So what should my next line be if I want to complete this perfect square? Should I angle? Should I go forward? Should I go backwards? And you can unmute as well. You don't have to type in the chat. T dot right 90. Okay, let's give that a try. All right, T dot right 90. I'll run it. Okay, very good. So it looks like we're in a good position. What should our next line be? All right. Forward 50, forward 50. Okay, let's try it out. Perfect. So we're almost there. You can see now it's basically repeating. T dot forward 50, T dot right, forward, right. So I can even just copy this. And now I have my square. So when you have repeating code like this, we can use a loop. I'll get into that a little bit later, but to avoid having to write that over and over again, if you start to notice a pattern, know that you can use a loop in order to cut down on the amount of code that you have to write. All right. So again, if you want your shape to be bigger or smaller, you can extend how much forward or backward your turtle goes. And then for angles, if you want to make a specific type of shape, you can angle it differently. You can move forward, backwards, whatever you want, just to experiment with that. And then if you want to change the shape of your pin, you just do t.pin color, and then you can pick the color. So I can start with, someone give me a random color. Red, all right. So we'll start that, run. My square is red. So I want you guys to take 5 minutes to play around with this. Make a rectangle, make another square, make a triangle, and then come back, put a thumbs up in the chat when you're done. All right. And then see if you can figure out how to fill your shape. A lot of things in Python are pretty straightforward. So if you get an error, try something else. See if you can figure it out. And then if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to drop them in the chat. All right, just a couple more minutes. So one more thing I'll go over before or really quick is so you see my window is kind of like a rectangle. If I do turtle.setup, I can change how large my window is and how much space I have. So I'll do width 500 and height 500. And then you'll see it gets bigger. So I have more room. And you can play around with that too. Excuse me. And then see what works for you. It's really just a preference. Give yourself enough space. And then once you've made your shape, give me a thumbs up in the chat or a reaction. All right, I see we got one thumbs up. What shape did you decide to make? And feel free to unmute and let us know. Blue triangle, nice. What angles did you use to make your triangle? Nice. All right, so let's make our triangle. So you see how I had my pin down? I'm gonna try and make a triangle and we're gonna see what happens. So I'll do a T forward, T right, 120, T forward. All right. And what do you, before I run it, what do you predict is gonna happen? Because I'm gonna make my roof, but right after I made my square, I'm gonna try and make my triangle. All right, let's see what happens. Yep. Sorry? Sorry, I having a little trouble hearing you. If you want, you could put it in the chat as well. But like Luis predicted, it drew over the square. So if I pick my pin up and I'm going to say move to, I'll just pick a random coordinate and then we'll see, oops. I forget, I think it's just move. Yep, I did pin up, so I'm picking my pin up and then I want to move. I forget which. Oh, let me check my code because I don't remember. Go to, that's what it is. Okay, so then I picked it up, it went to that coordinate, and then I forgot to put it down. So it was just drawing randomly in the air. Okay, so now you see I moved up, I move my triangle up and it's disconnected from my square. All right. I'll just pick a different color. Okay, so right now I have a nice triangle, but it's not in line with my square. So what are some suggestions you have so that my square or my triangle is aligned with my square? I want it to be like a roof on a house. So how can I get that level with my square? And I'll just comment this out. All right, so we have a suggestion. Let's see. Let's try it out. So we'll do turtle dot right 180. Okay, there we go. It's on the side, but that's progress. Now it's not slanted over to the left. All right, so let's try 90. No, it's inside of my house. Looks like an envelope. All right, so let's try 120. Okay, same thing, just different side. All right, so that one didn't work. Let's try 45. Okay, and then we have 60 as our last suggestion. That's close. Let's see. Math. Yay! Okay. So let me comment this out really quick, just so we can see where our so we can see the angle of our turtle before we make our triangle. So after our square is completed, our turtle is pointing straight up. So we say angle to the right, 30 degrees, and then it makes our triangle. So it's pretty much a little bit of a guessing game, trial and error, but we eventually got it. All right, so now our house has a roof. Has anyone figured out, oh, let me, has anyone figured out how to fill their shapes? Give it some color? Or anyone have any ideas? And then remember, before we make any command, we have to call our turtle. So we're always going to have T and then dot, and then the command. And then there's usually a set of parameters inside of the parentheses. So we got T dot right, and then we got parentheses, and inside of there, we're giving it instruction. So we're saying turtle, angle right, 30 degrees. Here we say turtle, pin color, blue. So let's try, I'm gonna just try T dot fill Oops. And let's see what happens. Okay. So fill didn't work. Let's try. Oh man. Is pin fill? No. Okay. Begin fill or fill color. Okay. So it's T fill color. All right. So I said turtle, I want the fill color to be blue. It didn't work. My shape, my triangle is not blue. Why do you think that is? Because I said turtle, the fill color is blue. But nothing happened. Because with Python and all programming languages, you have to be very specific. It's like you're explaining, I don't know if you've had that in school where it's like, write out the instructions to make a PB&J. Like tell an alien how they would make a PB&J. And you're like, oh, put the bread on the jelly and do the blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, well, if you follow those instructions, you're not going to get a PB&J. So it's very, very specific. So it says maybe you need to call it before drawing, something like that. So let's try T dot begin fill. So I'm telling turtle fill color is blue, and then I'm saying turtle begin fill right before I make my triangle. So this is my triangle here. This is the code to my triangle. And so I'm saying begin the fill, and then I'm gonna say T dot infill here. Oops. Okay, that's something. Oh, I'm forgetting an underscore. There we go. So I have my fill color. I say begin filling here and here. I can do the same thing for my square. I can change the fill color. Someone give me a random color. Excuse me. Yellow. All right, let's do yellow. All right, so I got my fill color. And I'm gonna say begin, oops, fill here. And then end here. All right. So we got our house with the base, the roof. Now, what should we do next? Do we want to do the door? Do we want to do the sun? What do we want to do? We can do the sky and the sun. All right. So I'm just gonna start labeling a few things so it's easier for myself. In order to make a comment, and this is just for your own, for yourself, you're not telling the computer any instructions, it's just a note to yourself. It's a hashtag, and then I'm gonna say triangle. So I'm like, hey, this is my triangle. And then this is my square. All right. So remember, picking up my pen, moving, putting down my pen again. That's gonna help me when I make my sun, because I don't want my sun to be right over my house. It's gonna be somewhere up in the sky. So let's go down. Or let me do this first so it's easier to see. Okay. So I'm going to say turtle pin up. We're gonna go to, let's see. And just and then pin down just to see where it takes me. Okay. I'm going to use this code to see where I land after this. Okay. Okay, so I started right here. It's pretty close to my other square. It's like right on top of it. So I want to move even further away. I'll do 200. And I'll change the pen color. Let's try pink. All right, and this time I'll use my triangle. See where I land. Okay. So the problem I'm having is I put my pen down. I changed the pen color. I picked it up. I went to a spot. I put it down. And then my square is still following this first triangle. So I have to pick my pen up again before I start my other square. Now I'll pin down. Let's just move it back. So again, trial and error, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. Okay. So I imported turtle. Here's my turtle. I named it. I changed my window size. I put my pin down. I chose the color pink. I picked it up. I went to 10, 200. I put it back down. My fill color is blue. I began fill. This is my triangle. Right up here. Then I picked my pin up. I went back to 0, 0. I put my pin down. This is my square right here. And then it made my triangle right after. All right, so I think I need to do this first because it's on the side again. And Code HS is a little finicky. Okay. All right, so the problem is, okay, let me just comment some of this out. So again, when you're doing stuff with angles, you gotta keep track of where your pin is. If you need to, comment out some of the stuff so you know where you're starting, work through from top to bottom. My problem is my pin is facing downward after the triangle. So I have to turn to the right 270 degrees. So let me try that again. Okay. It's on the bottom. Trial and error. All right, so working our way from the top to the bottom, we've got our turtle, we've got our setup, our pin is down, we pick the color, we pick it up, we go to 10, 200, we put our pin back down. Our fill color is blue, and then we begin the fill. This is our triangle, and our pin is facing downwards. We pick it up, we go to 0, 0, right here, and then we put our pin down. I turn my turtle 90 degrees to the right so that I can make my square. And then I turn it 30 degrees to the right again so I can make my triangle. All right. So I'm going to move this over because I want my sun to be somewhere over here. All right. Do we like that spot for the sun, or do we want to move it somewhere else? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, okay, perfect. All right. So how are we doing with I'll give you guys like 5 minutes so you can play around, moving your pin up and down, making a different shape, picking it up, putting it down. I'll give you 5 minutes and then let me know how y'all are doing. Oh. Actually, I won't do that because you have 5 minutes left. Okay. I will show you how to make a circle. All right. So, So instead of this triangle, which I have here, I'm going to change this to yellow. And I'll change that to red. All right, so does anyone have any suggestions on how to make a circle? Any ideas? Don't be afraid, we can try anything out. All right, let's try it out. T forward, that's our direction, 360. Okay, so we went forward 360 pixels. But to make a circle, we're going to focus more on the angle. So let's try going forward 50. And then what angle number should I use? Okay. All right. So that was a good suggestion. Where's my do it again? Oh. Sorry, I am looking for my code. 1 second. Okay. So to make a circle, because a circle has all sides, Python makes it really easy. And you do t.circle. And I'm gonna pick a random number. I picked 90 and it's a huge circle. So you can choose any number. I'm saying make a circle and then it's 10 pixels. That's very small. All right, so thank you again for bearing with me. That is, unfortunately, we're out of time. But if you all could do the post survey, and if you have any more questions while you're filling that out, feel free to drop them in the chat. But thank you so much for sticking around and coming to the workshop.
Hey Kaylee, would you be able to post the code on like your GitHub account and share the link so that way everybody can see how to build out the whole mural or the whole piece of art?
Yeah, I can do that. All right, and then I think, yep, that's the link for the presentation. So you can go through and look at it again if you want, and then let me see. Did you want me to email that later, Diana?
Oh yeah, that would be great if you could email Kat, and then I think Kat would be able to share with everyone.
Okay.
Yep, I can do that.
All right.
Well, Kylie, thank you so much. This is Kat at Nourish Phoenix. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. We really loved hosting Coding in Color this evening. Hopefully we get you guys back really soon. Make sure to go ahead and do the post survey. And I'm going to put a link in the chat for some of the other classes that we've got at Nourish. Go ahead and check it out. All of our classes are free and open to the public thanks to partners like Coding in Color. So you guys are welcome to attend anything. It's all free and open to the public. So make sure to do the survey and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us, Kat. I hope everyone enjoyed the session today. And if you guys have any more questions for us, we will also drop our contact information.
And Diana, I'll shoot you an email to follow up. I really appreciate your guys' time.
Yay, likewise. Thank you for having us, Kat. We
No
will
problem.
follow.
Sounds great. We'll see you later.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good night.